Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here for another Friday Night Live. We have now entered a new month. We are in the merry month of February, where love abounds. Valentine's Day is around the corner for us here, and you folks have joined us here for another fantastic edition of Friday Night Live. And as always, we have an amazing show for you this evening, and we are extremely excited to bring on two former guests to get reacquainted and see what they're up to lately. But as always, I am joined by my good friends here with the Page Crew, Jen Cash from the Blind Bard YouTube channel, my good friend Ed Stark, and of course Ron Meischker. How's everybody doing this evening?
Great, Phil. How are you?
I'm good. This was my first full week of work in a while because of the snow that the Northeast has experienced in the last few weeks. And so I had to get back to like the full week of work after 2-hour delays and snow days and that what have you. But it was fine. It was just great. So I'm good. And it's going to be bone chillingly cold apparently tomorrow. With anticipated wind chills into the negative teens and the negative 20s tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm going to be going anywhere.
Ooh, yeah, that does sound cold.
Yeah. So I think, all four of us are kind of up in the Northeast region of the country. And so I think most of us will likely be experiencing similar temperatures. So
yeah, it's supposed to be single digits here, but I think the coldest it's ever been is like minus 35. A couple of years ago. And that was an experience.
That's cold. That is very, very cold indeed. It looks like we've got folks joining us in chat already. Troy Allman and Chet Minton have already jumped in to say hola to us. So thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. Michael in chat. Hey, Michael, how you doing? And in Tox, what is that? In Tox Lavi, I'm going to take a shot at that name there. Thank you for joining us as well in chat. We have two folks that are joining us this evening. I think the audience will be familiar with them. And if you're not, you're in for a treat. We're going to be joining us tonight are the two co-creators of the Dark Space RPG, which is a, dare I say, hack of Shadow Dark, or it works with the Shadow Dark system.
It's compatible with Shadow Dark.
It's compatible. There we go. It's compatible with Shadow Dark. Maybe that's more appropriate to differentiate it in that way. So Leo's in the chat. Hey, how are you, Leo? Ed Lopez has joined us as well. Mike Elston. Hey, how are you? Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Ron, do we have anything else to add before we bring on our guests?
No, just if anybody is looking to come to Concoction in May, you're running out of time to save 20% on your badge. That goes away in a couple of hours. So we'll have links for that later on in the show.
Yes, exactly. And if for some crazy reason you're uninitiated with Concoction is our sister convention that we run that will be taking place in Vineland, New Jersey in late May. And so it's smaller than Page, it's more intimate setting, but you will still be able. Where's Concoction? Asks Mike Elston. It's Vineland, New Jersey Convention Center in Vineland, New Jersey, of course. And it is May, I believe it's 29th through the 31st. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes, there we go. Those are the dates. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we are going to be filling the schedule with fantastic role-playing game opportunities for you to play in. We've got special guests lined up. Some of them are some of our Page alums. And it's going to be a good time. Smaller scale, just as fun. So if you want to save on a badge, you want to go out to, what is the website for Concoction off the top of our heads?
Concoction.games.
Concoction.games will get you all of the relevant information that you need to know in order to grab yourself a badge. We have not yet opened up ticket sales for signing up for events, but you want to get yourself a badge, there's a hotel block that is available. So if you want to get yourself a room, you can do that as well, and that is on the website. Concoction.games will get you that where you need to be.
And a couple of things. If you are an attendee of Page, like this year's Page, you get a discount, right, on the Concoction badge.
Only until midnight tonight.
Yeah, well, do it right now.
No.
And you're also not that far from the beach cities, so you can combine it with a trip to the beach.
Down the shore, right?
Unless you're from like Northeast Pennsylvania, then stay home.
That's good because
we don't
I'm
want
not
you
from
here.
I'm from Southeast Pennsylvania, so that's good. I'm not from
That's where I was originally from.
How close is it to Atlantic City?
About 40 minutes.
That's not bad.
No, it's not terrible. No.
Yeah, but if you truly just wanted to go to the beach, it's like 20.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
Yeah. Yep,
all right. Well, why don't we bring our guests on? What do you think?
I think so. I think that would be appropriate. Yeah.
All right, and there we go. We've got Than Gibson. What happened to him? There he is.
Yeah, there's Than.
There he is.
Hey, oh, fantastic. Oh,
and then we got the Geek Preacher, Derek White, our good friend. I see he's filled in his own title as Than's assistant. And
yeah, Ron.
Thanks for joining us, both of you. You've been here prior, and we brought you back for a guest star appearance yet again here on Friday Night Live. And boy, what two fantastic gentlemen it is to share a Friday night with. And both of you were at Page 3 just a few short weeks ago. And you were there not only as special guests, you were also there as vendors. You were had a booth, and you had your books for sale. The Kickstarter, the recent Kickstarter for the Dark Space RPG, which we want to talk about in a few short moments here, is still we're going through the throes of any normal Kickstarter campaign as we get closer to fulfillment. So why don't we hear a little bit about, if folks are unfamiliar with Dark Space, what is Dark Space, and how did you two get to the point that you are right now with it?
Yeah. Well, so I'll do the basics about what Dark Space is, and Derek, I'll let you cover how we got here. But Dark Space is kind of like you guys were saying at the top of the show, sci-fi rules that are compatible with Shadow Dark. The idea behind it was that we wanted to build a sci-fi game that was lightweight, that used an established system that we love. We're both huge fans of Shadow Dark, and there was nothing really like what we wanted to do with it in the space. There were some sci-fi adjacent rules, that people had kind of cobbled together, but nothing that had really, codified into a rule system that lets you play the kind of sci-fi that you want to play. And that's really the core of it, is that when we were kind of talking through it, we didn't want to just do space horror. Like, a lot of people try to compare us to Mothership. Mothership's a great game, does space horror very well. We didn't want to just do space horror. We didn't want to just do space opera. We didn't want to just do, alien, like salvage, crawling through a spaceship and pulling out junk. We wanted you to be able to do whatever you wanted to with it. And so that's Dark Space in a nutshell, is sci-fi rules that let you play the sci-fi that you want. And then, Derek, how did we get here?
How did we get here? Well, we got here because we started writing the sci-fi last year in January of 2025. We published the book, and we thought, that's great. We've got the book out here. We've got the small core book out here. It's just a nice little add-on to Dark Space, and we'll see where it goes. Within a month, maybe 6 weeks, we had people contacting us wanting to write third-party products for it. And we're like, what? Okay. I play tested my first adventure for Dark Space at Page in 2025. We did Zine Quest last year in February 2025, and it went really, really well. We started selling more and more books, and before we knew it, people were going, "Hey, man, we want more. We want more." And we were like, "Well, we'll see what happens." And then we went to Origins, sold more copies at Origins. Other people started getting excited. We started building a community around it. And that's when I think things really began to take off. Community just started growing up, and more people just seemed really interested in it. We saw all these people. We'd hit maybe 400 copies, and we're like, me and Than started talking. We said, maybe we need to do an expanded book. And so Than started working on the rules. I started working on some denizens. We started working on a number of other things, started play testing more stuff, and before you know it, we're breaking 1,000 copies on this book, this little core book that we didn't even kickstart, that we just put up on Drive Through RPG and Than's DMing the World website, and it was taken off. And some people are like, "Man, do this Kickstarter." We threw the Kickstarter up, and it exploded beyond our wildest dreams. I mean, I was not expecting that. We were hoping maybe we could do $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. It breaks $100,000, and we're like, what in the world is going on? People started wanting merch. It's like, man, it's good when people are saying, we want merch, we want hoodies, we want ball caps, we want all these things. And it just exploded. So I think we got here because we tapped the button at the right time. Part of it was when I first started talking to Than about this in 2024, I said, man, I think the culture is about to change. We've had fantasy really central for the last 10, 20 years. And I think people are going to want to see something different. They want to see some sci-fi. And I honestly think what Than said about playing sci-fi your way is what really appeals to people. We have so many folks that continue to tell us, I can play the sci-fi game we want. We have people coming into our Discord telling us how they've got this setting or that setting, settings for third edition, settings for totally different role-playing game systems, and how they're using Dark Space for those settings that they want. That's why we didn't really want to do a setting. We might eventually do one, but we saw people really just wanting to play the type of sci-fi they want, and we gave them the rules to do so.
That's amazing.
So one of the things I like from your Kickstarter, and partly because I got to actually participate in it, is how you reached out to a bunch of designers and got a bunch of us to contribute some things. I think that was really great because it gave me an opportunity. I mean, I got to play the original playtest with you, Derek, or one of them anyway, and really enjoyed it. And then I got the opportunity to write a very short thing for it, an alien. I don't know how much you want to talk about that. I don't know if it's secret or not, but
No,
let's talk about it. You gave us a really great concept. Everybody did. We had 12 creators all together that created legendary denizens. So if you're not familiar with Shadow Dark, basically a legendary is a high level, a boss monster, if you will. It was amazing the variety that folks came up with. We always said was you get one page to fill up, to go crazy on. Come up with a concept for it, whatever you think. And we had everything from a mad scientist with cybernetic raptors to space narwhals to what Ed created for us, the metaformer, which is sort of this like metamorphosizing, transforming boss creature that just keeps as you beat one form of it, another one kind of comes in. It's sort of that multi-stage. When I've talked to people at
kind of
cons about it,
I thought of it as like a Russian doll.
Yeah, like a Russian doll. Yeah. When I've talked to people at cons about it, they're like, "Oh, that sounds like a boss monster from like a JRPG, like a Final Fantasy or something like that, where you beat one and then the next one, it's more powerful now, and you got to go through 3 or 4 stages." It's really good concept. Each one's very different, so it makes them kind of have to rethink their strategy because one's more physical, one's more mental, and it's a great concept. You did a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. Who were some of the other designers? I mean, I know a few of them, but
we had we kind of built up, right, and so the first chapter we broke them into chapters. We had the first chapter, we had Shadow Dark creators, so we had Bill Hervot, who wrote the Righteous Vow series of Shadow Dark modules. We had Michael Putlak, who from Night Noon Games and works with Arcane Library. Then we had Borg creators, Mort Borg creators that came on and did a Borg invasion for us. We had Erica Lowe, who did Ragnarborg, created a space Viking pirate queen for us. And then we had some YouTubers. We had Bob Worldbuilder created a Voltron-esque creation for us, multiple robots that formed together into one big one. And then Adrian Williams from Dungeons and Dyslexia gave us a boss monster that was like a cybernetic centaur character. And then we had our creator legends. We had Ed, and we had Mark Miller, the creator of Traveler, actually did a fantastic character that Derek worked on with him to kind of help fit it into Dark Space. And that was just amazing to get Mark on and do something. And then, we got Kelsey Dion of Shadow Dark herself to create the final one for us. So it was very cool to see everybody come in and build us, something that was just really unique. It made for great stretch goals.
That's great that so many people contributed.
Yeah. And just, every one of you guys were like, absolutely, tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to do. So,
well, it's nice because you might have just created a whole stable of freelancers.
I hope so. Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't think Mark's going to freelance too much. Mark does not need to freelance too much. And one of the things that helps us is that, I've been around the hobby for a while. Than's been around the hobby for a while. And it's making those connections. Again, it always goes back to community. It is building a community of friends, both at the gaming table and in the industry. And that helped us, having those contacts we could reach out to. People we know, people we trust, people who we love their products. Getting you in there, Ed, you contributed to a game that was formational for Than. I think he told you about that, man.
Yeah.
That Star Wars game. Than is a big, huge Star Wars nerd. And he was just so happy we could get you in there. Knowing people helps a lot that you can reach out to, and people who believe in you and trust you as well. So you get that mutual sense of trust and support that really helped us all out a lot.
It's funny. I was just kind of chatting in an adjacent conversation with somebody who's in our chat here, and we were saying that exact same thing. Just chatting with Agile Monk, kind of outside the chat about something, and it's exactly what we just talked about. everybody's got to pick each other up and help each other out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a matter of, like in my case, I like to show a lot of enthusiasm and get it out there that, hey, I'm supporting this, so therefore you should too. We do that quite a bit with our special guests, and we did it with Dark Space. I was the first guy sitting there pressing the buttons, waiting.
You were
waiting to get the waiting to pull it down and get my stuff. So I was very excited about that, and it's been fun to watch the journey you've been on over the past year plus, getting this thing done and the growth of it. And I like to think it kind of mirrors the growth and the path we've taken at Page, right? We just a little bitty 3-year-old convention. We topped 3,000 attendees last year, and some people have gotten an opportunity to see that right from the beginning. And we've got some stuff in the hopper for Page 4 that the sky's the limit. We're getting some major interest from large publishers about setting up at Page next year, and
Awesome.
we're very excited about that.
Awesome.
Oh, we're excited about what Page is going to do next year. Dan, we've already got the booth for next year, don't we?
Yep, we do.
We're going to be back. We want to
We'll
be
be
there.
back.
I mean, we had to give a shout out to Page. Number one, Page. It's become a tradition for me. 2 years is a tradition, and I'm a preacher. We know a lot about traditions, and you do it more than twice, it's a tradition. So, Page 2025, I play tested my first adventure. For our zine. Page 2026, I play tested my second adventure, which we've got a Kickstarter on right now. I guess I got to do it next year, don't I, Ron?
What's that?
Play test my adventure. I've already done it 2 years in a row.
So.
Next year,
Well,
do the trifecta.
At this point, you gotta start thinking about special events to run at Page.
I am more than happy to do that.
That's going to be in my bailiwick. And
Listen, you saw how successful Down the Dark Stairway was this year.
Oh
Yeah.
Why can't we have
Around the Dark Planet?
around?
I think we could.
On the
Oh,
Dark
That's a good
Planet.
title. Yeah.
I think we could.
Fans already picked up some Dwarven Forge for Dark Space.
A little
Dwarven
bitty
Forge
set.
does sci-fi.
Rumor has it that I might have recently, within the last 6 months, picked up a load of Dwarven Forge sci-fi.
Really?
Well, there you go, Ron. I think that we got to talk after. We can do something with that. I would be happy to write that adventure for sure. Man.
And I'm also kind of a madman with the 3D printer. So if you need something custom.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dan's a madman with a 3D printer too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true.
He also needs to be doing a lot of layout all the time.
We can tag team.
Yeah, please. We need the tag team.
I'll be the first one to sign up whenever.
You have. We would have you there, Jennifer, because it was just so wonderful having you in the game.
It was awesome. Like I totally got into it. I'm not the kind of person that plays like fighter characters. I usually play more spellcasters, but I loved her. I think I played her because she was a woman and all the rest were guys. It feels weird playing a guy, but she was great. I loved her.
Well, that's the funny thing about that adventure, because I didn't put gender on some of them, but the doctor in that adventure is supposed to be a female. But the guy running her ran her as a guy, and that's fine. And the frog Jerry is gender neutral, so Jerry doesn't have a gender. So but again, it's always up to the interpretation of the player. And Rhonda is just one of my favorites, so that was fun. Rhonda is one of my favorite characters, and she's bad, man. She's tough. She's tough. And when she levels up to 3rd level, she gets a force crowbar.
Yep.
She just
a
kept on
powered
trying
crowbar.
to talk to all those machines.
She did.
There's a question in chat from Michael Pastor from out in Pittsburgh. He says, where does Dark Space fall on the spectrum between hard sci-fi and space fantasy?
Where do you want it to fall on the spectrum? That's the answer.
Yep.
It's what you want to do with the rule set. You can make it hard sci-fi if you want to. You can be super grounded, super gritty, or you can go, full on, Star Wars, Thundar the Barbarian, He-Man, like however sci-fi you want to go, you can do it.
I will say on that question though, my impression is also people, it's kind of like the difference between precision and realism or something. One of the things that Shadow Dark does is it boils down the rules to just as much as you need.
Yeah.
Right.
Dark Space, I think, does the same thing, and people confuse that sometimes with if it's trimmed down, if it's boiled down to its essence, then it must be softer, and that's not true. I mean, you can have a character who's got like one skill that covers a whole bunch of things. You don't have to have all these little things, and it can still be hard science fiction. I mean, if you remember the original Traveler, I think we'd all say that that's fairly hard science fiction, but that was also a very kind of compared to what we have today, very trimmed down sort of rule set. I think Dark Space has a lot of those elements. And like you said, if you want to add in, stuff that feels like, Tom Clancy or David Weber describing every element of your battleship and in great technical detail, you can.
Yeah.
The rules aren't necessary for that.
No.
Right.
In fact, they could get in the way.
They do.
So,
They do.
yeah.
One of the things I've told people, and this is a shout out to Mark Miller and Traveler, is, I've had people say to me, hey man, I want some really hard sci-fi spaceships. And I point them, hey man, go to Drive Through RPG, get some of those ship books from Traveler. You want that. You want to make sure your spaceship, you want hard sci-fi, make sure your spaceship has a toilet. Okay, that's a big one. Things like that. But what Than did in our rule set, which I've said this before, I'll continue to say it, he talked about the switches you toggle on and off. And one of the things that Than put in our rules is psionic or psychic abilities, because that does pop up in sci-fi, like Babylon 5 and things of that nature. But you can also use those psychic abilities to parallel the Force for something like Star Wars. But if you want hard sci-fi, we have one-page settings in our new expanded rule book where you can toggle those switches off and on. So if you want hard sci-fi, you want something like The Expanse, but you want something more rules light, don't use the Triad. Don't use those psychic abilities.
Yeah.
Or
don't use the alien species. Just be human.
Right. And this is something else you could do with a Dark Space that I really like, is if you don't want to use alien species, but you want to keep it human, which is what I do in some of my games, I use the species traits that we have as mutations. So, like if you want to do some sort of post-apocalyptic world, oh, you've got extra arms, it's a mutation. Yes, you're a variant of human, but it's a mutation.
Yeah.
And so,
now you're playing Gamma World instead,
exactly. And that's what we really wanted.
That's how that switch flips.
Or genetic enhancement.
Yeah,
exactly. Or your X-Men.
Yeah.
Start going into that side of it. So it really is, kind of however you want to skin it, right? So we give you the framework and then you put the skin over top of it.
Right. So we have a few other questions here in chat and comments. We've got, how did you go about building up your fan base? Through Discord?
Not really. No. We didn't actually start a Discord until we got the Kickstarter going. And then we're like, we probably should have a Discord. we did talk. We did have we have an ongoing thread on the Arcane Library Discord, but Facebook. We've had a lot of people. The Shadow Dark Facebook group is very active, very supportive, very positive group. There's knock on wood, there's not a lot of toxicity in that group, and that's rare for a Facebook group sometimes.
That's rare for the TTRPG community. Let's
be honest, in certain ones, right?
Yeah.
But they're all very supportive. They all want to see creators, building. It's what we were getting back to earlier with what you were saying, Ron. Getting out there and meeting folks at cons, running demos. I ran demos at GaryCon last year. We ran games at Origins. We ran games at Gamehole. We ran games at Page. Like getting out there and talking to people about it is a lot of it as well. It's not just the Discord. Now, our Discord's doing well. We've got a couple hundred people in there now, but that's not where our community.
To just break it down, I think number one was the Shadow Dark community, because we have had so many people over the last year that have come up to us, and we had a number of them come up to us at Page, and they said, I love Shadow Dark for the rule system, but I love sci-fi more.
Yeah.
And so that was the big thing is number one, we built it up through the Shadow Dark community, making sure that we kept following the Shadow Dark license, making sure that we got permission for everything we wanted to do, that we did not want to step on any toes. So number one, we did it with the Shadow Dark community, and especially tapped into those Shadow Dark fans that really wanted to play some sci-fi. And number two, Facebook, of course, helped a lot. And like Than said, going to conventions, meeting people, and running games. That was it. Oh, make sure your spaceship has a toilet. It needs to be on a t-shirt. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and I need Stan to illustrate that if we make that, though.
Oh, God, I would love that.
I expect he's already sketching it right now.
Yeah.
Do we have a Jonathan Myrie?
Yeah, that didn't hurt either. I will say Jonathan Myrie and Lurking Fears was a tremendous help to us as well.
Great.
Jonathan fell in love with Dark Space and became our evangelist. That's what you do too. You find a couple of people who are really loud and really out there that fall in love with what you're doing, and they will promote you. That was a really big one for us.
Yeah, Jonathan's been a big help with us with doing things like our game jam for us this year that we did.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, do we have our con schedule set? I'm assuming that's for us. Yeah, I think for the most part at this point.
Yeah.
I can't fit many more in. Our next one will be GaryCon. And then we've got a small one called Covington in Covington, Kentucky in April. And then May. Do we have a May?
May, ChupacabraCon.
ChupacabraCon. Yes.
And are you still going to North Texas as
and
well?
Then I'll be at North Texas, and
You're
then
a madman,
and then Origins right after it. It's like boom, boom, boom. I'm probably gonna get fired.
That's pretty aggressive con schedule.
Well, no. And then in June I have EdCon.
You've got EdCon.
Yeah,
that's in July.
That's in July.
I'm sorry, July. June we have Origins. July I'll be at EdCon doing some Dark Space.
August we'll probably be at Gen Con.
In August. September we don't have anything on the schedule, but in October we will be at Gamehole again.
Yep. And then November will be GameCon Junction in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yep.
And then
So what's the convention you have in May?
ChupacabraCon.
When is that?
It's
Hold on, I'll
mid to
pull up my
late
count.
May. I think it's like May 20th. It's in
Hold on, I
Austin.
got my calendar right here. Let's see here. Boom. May
Yeah, I remember that one.
29th. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day.
Yep, Memorial Day weekend.
That's not Memorial Day weekend.
It's not? When is
No,
Memorial
it's the same
Day?
weekend as Concoction, but that's okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's why we couldn't make it because
Yeah.
they actually invited us
weekend
before
after
you
this
had,
year.
had
Let's-
concoction.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on from that.
Yeah. We'll talk next year.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
All right. But yeah,
not
so
not
we're
going
gonna
to not going to EcclesiaCon this year.
It's in May, and I can't do 2 conventions a month. Dan may be able to do 2 in a month, but I cannot. I just can't get away from home twice in 1 month.
Are you going to send any adventures or product support to get run at Concoction?
No, that's
No,
okay. We're good. We're good.
Okay. All
all right.
right. All right, man.
I was gonna offer, but all right. But yeah, well, so yes, we have a con schedule. Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions for our guest tonight from the chat here? I'm not seeing any other
Not seeing any
questions. All right. You want to leave us with anything?
Well, definitely check out our Kickstarter that's going on right now. Void Echoes #2, the second issue of our official zine, is kickstarting as part of Zine Quest. So check that out. It's going to be a really good one. Derek wrote our first hex crawl. You're hex crawling across a barren moon, and there's some kind of creepy stuff going on. And then it will also have rules for planetary expeditions and exploration. So how do you go about traveling across a planet or an asteroid or a moon and do hex crawl sci-fi? And then our spacers from the first issue come back as level 3 characters this time. So go grab it. It's already funded. We're just doing stretch goals now to get better art. Would love to support. And that'll be it for new things for a little bit while we get everything else out with fulfillment. And fulfillment on the big Kickstarter is imminent here within the next month. We're gonna get started. So coming soon.
What
And
is
if I
the
could
plan?
just add something real quick, if you guys haven't played Dark Space yet, you should. It's so fun. I had an amazing time at Page when I played it, and I think if you like sci-fi, you'll like this game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What
Thank
what
you
is
so
the
much.
is there a planned schedule for the zine releases? I never asked that.
Yeah. So the zine will probably for issue 2 will come out in May, just because we're going to be doing fulfillment on the first Kickstarter, so we'll push that back just a little bit. But someone asked, do we have a ship date for the first Kickstarter? The tentative is right at the beginning of March. It's at the printer now. It's going through printing. We're just waiting for the first batch for approvals, and then once we get that ready to go, then the books will go to our fulfillment warehouse, and then we'll get started on that. Digital files, or the digital copies, probably next week. We'll be putting an announcement out soon about that, so just be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And one of the things Stan did, I got to see the proof of it today. Was it today or yesterday? It blurs together. He put together an awesome GM screen.
Mhm.
I just love it. So there's that. You're going to have a printable GM screen.
Yeah.
And
Digital only for now. It's not
Yeah.
a physical thing,
Yeah.
but it's in prep for maybe doing a physical one. But it's a PDF, and it comes in both landscape and portrait, so whatever size you want. And it was one of our add-ons, and I think it turned out all right. I think it turned out pretty good.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's
thank
it.
you guys.
Thanks, guys. Yep.
Thank you for having us, Ron.
Yeah,
It's always
yeah.
a pleasure to be on here with you, man.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I do hope Concoction goes wonderfully well. I'm excited that you're doing a sister convention also.
All right. Well, we'll let you go. Good luck with the Kickstarter, and we'll see you at EdCon.
Yeah, thanks
See you
so
later.
much for hopping on here this evening. We really do appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks,
great
guys.
to see both of you again.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right. Well, it's always good for checking in with folks that we are friends with, and good luck to them with their Kickstarter endeavors and Dark Space and all that jazz. It sounds like it's really great stuff. Let's see, what else do we have to add here? We are, folks, we are diligently slaving away already for page 4. There is no rest for the wicked here. And we are lining up a con for you to experience in something like 51 weeks. Actually less than that. It's probably 49 weeks or so for you to enjoy. So we are really excited as we continue to plug away at the planning for page 4, because there's some really great things that are lining up. And like Ron alluded to earlier, we are getting some additional interest from some industry folks that want to get more involved with what's going on with the con, and that's great. That means just more opportunities and more choices for attendees to experience and shop at, or what have you, whether it's vendors, whether it's special guests. It's really great stuff. So we're getting more and more excited.
I also know we've been taking feedback from people. We're looking to improve. As Ron pointed out, we're a young convention, so we've always got room to make things better. So, yeah, can't wait to sit down and do that. The weather has been killing us. I guess Ron and some pals got together and unloaded a bunch of stuff, but we haven't been able to travel up and have our sort of in-person debrief yet. Can't wait to do that hopefully soon. And Ron, how is the trailer? Is it mostly unloaded? Is it?
It's unloaded. It's unloaded. We're good to go. I mean, at this point, we're already rapidly making changes. You're in your new role. Jen Glazer's in her new role. Chris Germanio is in his role as the quartermaster. Mike DiBenedetto is busy working on all the technology stuff. We have a new board game librarian for our board game library, which we'll bring that person onto the show probably in a couple of weeks. And I know some folks who were on the chat, they were looking for Matt John, the author of the Conan RPG from Monolith. He's sick, but he will be with us next Friday. He just wasn't sure he was really going to be able to go. And he is an hour ahead of us because he's on the extreme eastern side of Canada. But he'll be with us next Friday, which will be great.
I can't wait. I was looking at the book and have lots of interesting things to ask about.
It's an outstanding system. I'm really enjoying myself playing that system. And Anthony Simeone, who headed up our Down the Dark Stairway event at Page, he's actually running it here locally for a group here at my game room. And it's been so much fun. All the players are very much into their characters, and when I tell you we're writing not only logs of what the character feels like after the games, but there's even some prequels being written, and looks like there's some pretty cool stuff there getting put together. So excited about that, and so yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it.
That's great. I hope
That's
he feels
awesome.
better soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be all right. I it's just it's it was a tough thing. He reached out to me today, but we had Derek and Fan on here, and
Mhm.
they were able to fill the time with us, and that worked out great. And you see Valgov there, who's Jake Madden. He plays in that same Conan game I play in, and I know he's having a good time. But because he didn't get up at any point during the week after it snowed and dig his car out, he wasn't able to join us and missed a great game last game. So don't know what to say there, but
Yeah. I got to say, those of us, again, I mean, I'm trying to remember like the amount, the last time we've had like snow stick around, this significantly. I mean, it's really like, I mean, it's been like 2 weeks now. We've had this snow and it's basically gone nowhere.
Well, down here in Maryland, it snowed, and I mean, last couple of years we really haven't had any snow, and this time it snowed. It gave us, at least a foot, and then immediately started sleeting, so it turned into ice. I mean, you can't shovel it; you have to break it up with those like big metal bars and things like that. It's crazy. I've basically been parallel parking between two glaciers.
Yeah, we've had some snowy winters down here too. It hasn't been too bad this year, knock on wood. But yeah, there have been times where we've had like 2 feet of snow and it just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And the ice on top of what was going on here and the extreme cold. As many people know, my wife Jennifer fell down last week and dislocated her wrist. It turned out she broke bones in her wrist, and she was in for surgery this morning, and she's not a happy camper over in the house, but she's getting by, but she's got a cast on and had plates and screws put in her wrist, and that's never fun, especially when you're a massage therapist by trade. I mean, that's going to be really tough, but she's a trooper. I mean,
The surgery went well then, though?
It went well. Right. But she's a trooper. She's got to be tough. She's married to me, so that, that doesn't toughen you up. Nothing will.
Well, give her my best.
Yeah.
I will.
And at least she can roll dice with the other hand.
So. Yeah, we actually played tonight, and it's a game where she's part of that campaign, but she wasn't up to it, and it ended up really hurting the party that she wasn't there. They needed somebody who could levitate, and she can levitate, but she wasn't there. So, but nobody died tonight, so that was good for them, and they had, fun was had by all. So,
hey, I got a question for the group. I was mentioning, things that we're thinking about for page 4, and we haven't done this so much with ourselves, but did everybody have, what you'd think is an interesting takeaway from page 3 that you want to, just bring up? I mean, it doesn't have to be good, bad, just a sort of something that sticks in your head from page 3.
I think I might have mentioned it before. There's a specific. I experienced it in page 2, and I experienced it in page 3, and I experienced it this year on Friday afternoon, and Saturday to some degree as well, where I I enjoy seeing rooms full of people playing games all at once at the same time, completely enmeshed and immersed in their game, and a game master standing up behind a screen just going crazy, and 5-6 players around a table just so excited to be there. And as I was making my way around the con center, that's what I always take away. I look for that. That's like if I see that, and I want to see it multiple days. Of course, I want to see it every day. But if I see that, then I know that all the hard work is worth it for me anyway. And on Friday afternoon, around like 1 o'clock, I made my way through some of the larger rooms, and I saw table after table after table of people, especially with our special guests. It was a lot of special guest games happening on Friday afternoon. I saw a lot of special guest games and people absolutely engrossed. And that is something that I get really excited about seeing. And I saw that, and that makes me very, very happy.
Jen, what about you?
Well, I had several. The thing I noticed was I wasn't sure what to expect, because sometimes, especially when I went to PAX, it was really loud and I couldn't really hear the people at the table. And I'm like, oh, well, I hope it's not going to be that way, because I wanted to be able to hear the DM, and it wasn't that way. Like, I was able to hear everything. So, Paige, the convention center has really good acoustics. And the other thing is, I realized that, when you're prepping to go to a con, because I've never played a convention game before, there are a couple of things I kind of wish I had done differently. Like, I should have reached out to all of the DMs and just let them know that I had a visual impairment. And I think maybe that might have helped with like the explanations, especially when we did your game, Ed, because we were using Dwarven Forge, and I'm like, why didn't I ask him to look at the pieces before he built the thing? And
yeah, I did. One of the things I did try and do is whenever we had an interesting monster, I tried to hand you the miniature so you could, get an idea of what we were fighting. But yeah, I should have done something to make
I
it
didn't
more
realize.
accessible.
I didn't realize you were trying to hand it to me.
You took
couldn't
them and we're handling them sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. That would have been smart of me to have a way to better convey that. I tend to be a very visual DM. I like to use things like that, but I've got to learn that that's not the way. Even people who have, sight, not everybody learns stuff the same way. Some people are better at listening than they are at observing, and things like that. So as a DM, I've got to try and take that into account.
Yep. And I think for me as a player, I need to be more responsible and just plan ahead better. I mean, I brought my pixels and I brought the dots dice, but I would have really benefited from having a character sheet well in advance, and it just slipped my mind,
One of the nice things about tabletop events is that hosts and players can actually send messages to each other, and it goes through tabletop. So it's not like you have to give out your email address. And one of the things I usually do is I will actually post the characters that I'm going to use, because I always use pre-generated characters. And I didn't have time to do that this time. And I should have done it, because it gives people the opportunity to think about what they want to have. And I've even had groups where they've all sort of claimed their characters, before they ever show up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. One of my takeaways kind of ties in with something that Phil said. It's funny. Most of the conventions I go to, there's a hotel attached to, or maybe the convention is actually in a hotel. And for Paige, we're at the expo center, which is detached from any lodging. And I saw that get turned to an advantage, because quite often I've noticed that at other conventions, when the guests, the DMs, the attendees, when they finish up a game, if they're not going to the dealer's hall to wander around, they'll go back to the bar, or they'll go hang out in the lobby or something like that. One of the things I was seeing a lot of the special guests and a lot of people I knew were DMs hanging around in the open gaming area. It was near the board game library. It was near the concession stand, and I saw people like Matt Forbeck and Chris Pramus and a bunch of our DMs, Stan, just sitting around there chatting with people, and it made it more accessible, I think, because if you're hanging out in the gaming area, people feel like they can come up and talk to you. If you go back to the bar, or even worse, your room, then you're become less accessible. And I think a lot of the team were just there all the time so people can chat. One of the things one of the guys mentioned is actually something I do. He said, if you're getting overwhelmed, you can also vanish off to the hotel and not feel like the convention's close by. Yeah, exactly. I suffer from social anxiety disorder. And so every once in a while I have to disappear. But yeah, it's nice that you feel like, okay, I'm actually removed.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, what about you? Do you have a takeaway you'd like to share?
I think the attendees were wonderful this year. They had, they all had such a great time, and they were expressing the great time they had, to me specifically, and despite the fact that we did have growing pains, and the people on this call know how difficult some of those growing pains were this year. They weren't necessarily evident to everybody. And the folks who came there to game had a wonderful time, and they showed a lot of love there. So that was one takeaway. The second takeaway is, Jen's absolutely right. The acoustics were so much better in Hall A for gaming than they were in D&E. I think it's the higher plenum above, but we didn't get any complaints about sound this year.
No.
So I think that was a major plus, and that was a surprise because we didn't really know what to expect. And then finally, post page, some of the people from the industry who have reached out and have literally offered their expertise and help to help continue moving page forward. And I'll just throw a name out there, Christopher Clark from Inner City Game. I mean, he's really been wonderful. He's really made some connections for us that we didn't have, that we were trying to make. And I'm not going to get too far out ahead of what those are, but film at 11, because I've had some very good conversations with folks who weren't at page that are almost certainly going to be at page 4. And and when I say folks, I'm talking about publishers, and I'm very excited about that. And I think page 4 is going to be pretty darn epic, and I'm completely excited about it. And I just like the contact we've had. I had a great meeting with the folks from Games and Stuff the other day. I'm not afraid to announce this. They're going to be taking a spot to have some highlighted games in the game hall. They're going to be our bag sponsor this year. They're producing the bags for all the attendees. It'll be co-branded between Games and Stuff and Page. I mean, and they were wonderful partners this year, and they're just jumping back in with both feet and wanting to do more. So that's very exciting, and I'm not afraid to announce that the Arcane Library doubled the size of their booth.
Yay!
That's awesome.
That we have our friends from Pacesetter Games will be back in the fold. Again, we've got Monty Cook Games is going to be taking on a much larger role with the convention at Page 4. They have already rented a large space in the gaming hall, where they're actually going to have their booth in the gaming hall, and as well as their gaming tables. Ninth level games, same thing. They're taking a section of the gaming hall. They're going to vend from the gaming hall, and they're going to run games in their own section there. So I'm very pleased with the way things are coming along. Vendor sales have been very strong. We're about 60%, 60 to 65% sold. The indie gaming area, the indie gaming or indie publishers area has really been embraced. And Josh Yoder is fully engaged there. So there's a lot of positive things. And I guess the final thing, my final takeaway from Page this year is that in no previous year, every year Phil and I will say to each other, or my wife Jen and I will say, like after before Page 1, we'll say, you know what, we're going to see who, we're going to find a couple of year-round staffers from the volunteers at this convention. And every year it's been true. We've found, one or two. Phil was one of them after year 1 who came on board. Boy, did we have a good group of volunteers this year. Some really outstanding people that are going to be making an impact with us moving forward. I mentioned Michael Pastor moving earlier. Alex Newman's somebody who's going to be great. Matt Elias, Josh Yoder. So I'm, and I don't want to miss anybody, but some of the new folks that are coming on board with the staff and taking on larger year-round roles. You might have heard me say this before on this program or on other programs. We have all the help in the world and wonderful people who help us the week before Page through the week after Page and at the convention. It's a wonderful, the outpouring of support we get there. But then the other 50 weeks of the year, we're a little light on actual staff that's engaged and helping. Well, we're going to be adding four to six people coming off of this year's event that are going to be with us throughout the year doing stuff. And, Jen Glazer's one, so we have, we're gearing up the staff to gear up with the growth of the convention. And I couldn't be happier with who we have on board.
Well, that is great. I'm glad things are going so well on that front. I don't know. I just look forward to working all these people. We got Leo too doing our outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he's actually doing more than that. He brought some great ideas to the table in a phone call with me the other day, some of which I talked to you that have to do with, some of the Page publications we're going to put out, the convention specific publications. Now, I do want to announce one thing before we kind of cut loose for the evening. We have some Page specific adventure stuff, and like the Book of Encounters and Levi Combs's The Iron Cobra of Helgrim Hall, the one-page dice dungeon. we have some of those, and I've been getting asked a lot about, hey, when are they going to be available? Can we get a mail order? Things like that. The answer is yes, and I'm probably going to get that done this weekend. We're not going to put them all out there, but we're going to put a few out there for sale. And so if you're looking for page-specific items, they'll be there. So
That's great.
Jen, what do you have for us to close things out?
Well, thank you for coming. It's great to be back with the Page crew. It was great to talk with the Dark Space creators. Again, if you haven't played Dark Space, go check it out because it's amazing. It's so fun. And we will see everybody next week, same time, same place.